GCPD Report Number 2, Internal Personnel Recording. Recorded by Captain James Gordon. Location, Gotham City Police Department, Major Crimes Division. Classification, internal use only. 8:10 a.m., recorded by Captain James. This is Captain James Gordon. The following recording concerns personnel assignments within the Major Crimes Division and recent developments involving organized crime and the unidentified vigilante known as Batman. Over the last several weeks, Gotham has experienced several significant incidents. The arrest of the serial arsonist Garfield Lynns, the disruption of multiple Falcone crime operations, and the appearance of an unidentified crossbow-wielding vigilante responsible for the deaths of several known career criminals. Needless to say, Major Crimes is overwhelmed, which brings me to today's decision. Harvey Bullock, you wanted to see me, Cap? Close the door. Bullock dropped into the chair across from Gordon's desk. So, what'd I do this time? Gordon slid a thick case file across the desk. Bullock looked down. Major Crimes Task Force. He looked back up. You're kidding. I'm not. Bullock leaned back. I figured you'd ask for somebody who actually likes following the rules. I need somebody who knows Gotham. Bullock smirked. That's different. Gordon opened several photographs. One showed Garfield Lynns tied to a light pole. Another showed a Falcone warehouse full of unconscious gangsters. Another showed 3 murder victims killed by arrows. The city's changing. Bullock nodded. No argument there. Gordon folded his hands. I want you working with me. Bullock stared at him for a moment. Most captains try to get rid of me. I'm not most captains. A small grin crossed Bullock's face. Fair enough. Gordon continued. The Falcone family is getting nervous. The Maronis are moving into new territory. We've got a burglar nobody can identify. And now we've got someone hunting criminals with a crossbow. Bullock picked up one of the crime scene photographs. The arrow killer. Gordon nodded. No witnesses. No usable fingerprints. Nothing. Bullock set the photo back down. And Batman? Gordon looked toward the blinds covering his office window. What about him? You trust him? There was a long silence. Finally, I trust what I've seen. Bullock raised an eyebrow. That's not an answer. It's the only one I've got. Bullock lit a cigarette before Gordon pointed toward the no smoking sign. Bullock sighed. Right? He away. You think this Batman guy's helping? Gordon considered the question carefully. I think. He isn't doing this for money. He isn't asking for credit, and every crime scene he's left behind has ended with fewer innocent people getting hurt. Bullock crossed his arms. So we're supposed to ignore him? No, Gordon answered firmly. We enforce the law. But we also pay attention. If Batman crosses the line, we deal with it. If he helps save lives, we acknowledge it. Bullock chuckled. Didn't think I'd hear that from a captain. Gordon handed Bullock another folder. Inside were photographs of Carmine Falcone, his children, Sofia Falcone, Mario Falcone, Alberto Falcone, along with maps of their known businesses and suspected criminal operations. Our priority, Bullock nodded. The Falcones. They've owned this city too long. Bullock stood. When do we start? Gordon looked him in the eye. We already have. Personnel order, effective immediately. Detective Harvey Bullock is reassigned to work directly with Captain James Gordon within the Major Crimes Division. Primary objectives: investigate organized crime activity, expand surveillance of the Falcone crime family, identify the unknown burglar active throughout Gotham, investigate the unidentified crossbow vigilante, monitor activity involving the vigilante known as Batman. Captain's closing remarks. Gotham doesn't need perfect cops. It needs honest ones. If we're going to clean up this city, we'd better start now. Recorded by Captain James Gordon, Gotham City Police Department, GCPD archive status active. Personnel assignment approved. GCPD Report Number 3, Case File Unknown Vigilante, The Huntress, recorded by Detective Renee Montoya. Location, Gotham City Police Department, Major Crimes Evidence Room. Classification, active investigation. Date 9:28 p.m. Recorded by Detective Renee Montoya. This is Detective Renee Montoya. This recording concerns an active investigation into an unidentified masked vigilante responsible for the deaths of multiple known criminals operating throughout Gotham City. Until identification is confirmed, the suspect will remain listed as unknown vigilante. An unofficial nickname has begun circulating among detectives due to the suspect's method of operation: the Huntress. This designation has not been officially approved by the department, but it has become a convenient way to distinguish the suspect from other active cases. Case summary. Over the course of the last week, 3 deceased males were discovered in Crime Alley. All 3 victims were confirmed career criminals. Charges across their criminal histories included armed robbery, drug trafficking, assault, illegal firearms possession. Cause of death in each case was determined to be a single projectile fired with exceptional accuracy. Recovered projectiles were identified as custom-made crossbow bolts. No evidence of gunfire was found. No shell casings were recovered. Additional murders matching the same pattern have since occurred across Gotham. Every victim has one thing in common. Each possessed an extensive criminal record. At this time, there is no evidence that innocent civilians have been targeted. That fact does not lessen the seriousness of these crimes. This individual is committing deliberate homicide. Recovered evidence. Evidence item 01, 7 custom crossbow bolts. Construction, carbon steel heads, reinforced shafts, professionally balanced. The bolts were manufactured with a level of precision uncommon outside specialized sporting or military equipment. Evidence item 2, purple fabric recovered from a rooftop overlooking one of the crime scenes. Laboratory examination determined the material is an expensive custom textile. No DNA recovered, no fingerprints recovered. Evidence item 03, boot impressions recovered from 2 rooftops. Estimated subject weight approximately 125 to 145 pounds. Movement pattern indicates extensive athletic training. The suspect frequently travels across rooftops rather than city streets. Evidence item 4, witness statements. Several witnesses reported seeing what appeared to be a woman carrying a crossbow. Due to darkness and distance, none of the statements can be considered conclusive. Person of interest. Investigation has identified one individual connected to the recovered fabric. Name, Helena Bertinelli. Background, born in Star City, daughter of known organized crime figure Franco Bertinelli. Relocated to Gotham at approximately 16 years of age. Current whereabouts? Unknown. Apartment located in Gotham was recently abandoned. No forwarding address. No confirmed employment. No recent financial activity. At this time, Helena Bertinelli is considered a person of interest, not a confirmed suspect. Incident involving Batman. Several officers reported signs of a physical confrontation at one investigation site. Recovered evidence included damaged brickwork, torn black fabric, an embedded crossbow bolt. Based on the evidence, investigators believe Batman encountered the unidentified vigilante. No official report exists from Batman, for obvious reasons. Whatever happened, neither individual was apprehended. Assessment. Unlike Garfield Lynns, whose crimes were driven by revenge and destruction, this suspect demonstrates discipline and restraint. The killings are targeted, methodical, planned. There is no indication of panic or emotional outbursts during the attacks. That makes this individual significantly more dangerous. Personal observation. This section reflects my own opinion and should not be interpreted as an official departmental conclusion. I've spent enough years working homicide to recognize patterns. This vigilante isn't killing for pleasure. They're killing because they believe they're delivering justice. That's a dangerous mindset. Once someone convinces themselves they're judge, jury, and executioner, it becomes easier to justify the next killing, and the one after that. Batman operates outside the law too. The difference is that every scene we've investigated involving Batman has ended with suspects alive. Bruised, broken, arrested, but alive. This new vigilante doesn't leave anyone to arrest. That's a line Gotham can't afford to let anyone cross. Current case status. Alias, the Huntress. Unofficial. Identity, unknown. Primary person of interest, Helena Bertinelli. Weapon of choice, crossbow. Threat assessment, high known motive, believed to be targeting career criminals connected to organized crime. Current status, at large. Closing statement. If Helena Bertinelli is the person behind the mask, she's intelligent, well-trained, and always one step ahead of us. But nobody stays invisible forever. Every investigation leaves behind a thread, and sooner or later, we'll find the one that unravels the whole story. This is Detective Renee Montoya. Ending recording. GCPD archive entry case file, Unknown Vigilante the Huntress. Status active investigation access, Major Crimes Division only. Batman Gotham's Night number 4, time runs out. Saga 1, Gods, Monsters, and Mortals. Part 1, Mortals. The Batcave was alive with the glow of dozens of monitors. Bruce Wayne stood before the Batcomputer, still wearing the Batsuit with the fresh repairs Alfred had made after his encounter with the Huntress. The tear in the shoulder had been stitched closed, but Bruce knew the suit still lacked the protection he needed. One monitor displayed financial transactions connected to the Falcone crime family. Another tracked known Penguin businesses. A third monitored GCPD radio traffic. Off to one side, a television broadcast echoed through the cave. And tonight's biggest sporting event will see the Gotham City Wildcats face off against the Gotham Knights at Robinson Stadium. Security has been increased following recent criminal activity across the city. Bruce barely glanced toward the screen. Alfred walked in carrying a tray. You know, Master Bruce, normal people occasionally watch football for enjoyment. Bruce allowed himself the faintest smile. I don't have time. Alfred set the tray down. No, I suppose Gotham makes certain of that. Before either could continue, the police scanner crackled. Open quote, attention all units. Reports of an armed robbery in progress at Gotham Clock and Watch Company. Suspect identified as Slugsy Kyle, close quote. Bruce turned immediately. Slugsy Kyle. Alfred nodded. Small-time burglar. 3 arrests, 2 convictions. Bruce pulled his cowl into place. Tonight makes 4.
Yes, that's a real Batman.
Minutes later, inside the Gotham Clock and Watch Company, dozens of antique clocks ticked in perfect rhythm. Slugsy Kyle stuffed expensive pocket watches into a canvas sack. He chuckled. These rich folks paid thousands for this junk. A voice answered from the darkness. Time's valuable. Slugsy froze. Who's there? Every clock seemed to stop ticking. Then, Batman stepped from the shadows. Slugsy drew a revolver. I ain't afraid of. A batarang spun through the air. The revolver flew across the room. Slugsy charged. Batman sidestepped him, driving an elbow into his ribs before sweeping his legs out from under him. Slugsy reached for a knife. Batman kicked it away. The fight lasted less than 30 seconds. Batman secured Slugsy with heavy cable before carrying him outside. Using a nearby light post, Batman tied the unconscious criminal securely upright. Pinned to his coat was a handwritten note. The time is out for Slugsy Kyle. Batman vanished into the rooftops. Moments later, police cruisers surrounded the street. One patrol officer looked at the note. He really likes making an entrance. Another shook his head. Or an exit. Several nights later, Batman stood before a hidden compartment inside the Batcave. Inside hung a different suit. Cheap, wrinkled, worn, a brown overcoat, a battered fedora, a fake mustache. Bruce slowly changed clothes. Alfred watched. I never cared for Mr. Malone's fashion sense. Bruce adjusted the hat. It helps. Months earlier, Batman had dismantled a robbery crew led by a low-level gangster named Matches Malone. Not long afterward, Malone had died in an unrelated gang dispute. Very few people knew. In Gotham's underworld, Matches Malone was still believed to be alive. Bruce intended to keep it that way. Brideshead, one of Gotham's oldest neighborhoods. Its streets were lined with abandoned apartments, crumbling brick buildings, and smoke-filled bars where criminals gathered without asking questions. Bruce, now Matches Malone, entered a rundown tavern. A scarred man looked up. Took you long enough, Matches. Bruce shrugged. Traffic. Several gangsters laughed. Another man slid a wrapped package across the table. Black Mask's boys picked this up. Penguin wants it tonight. Bruce grabbed the package. No questions? The gangster smirked. You get paid to deliver. Not to ask. Bruce nodded. Works for me. Nearly an hour later, the neon sign of the Iceberg Lounge reflected across Gotham Harbor. Cobblepot's nightclub was alive with music, gambling, and whispered business deals. Bruce entered through the front doors as Matches Malone. Several of Penguin's men recognized him immediately. "Matches? You're late." Bruce handed over the package. "Traffic." One guard laughed. "You always blame traffic." While everyone focused on opening the package, Bruce quietly slipped away into a restricted hallway. His movements became silent, calculated. Batman hadn't come just to make a delivery. He had come for information. A locked office. A simple lock. Within seconds, Bruce picked it. Inside, a desk, several filing cabinets, a secure safe, and resting beside a computer, a small black hard drive. Bruce examined it. No labels, no markings, exactly the sort of thing worth stealing. He slipped it into an evidence pouch beneath his coat. Footsteps echoed down the hallway. Bruce quietly exited through another door before anyone noticed the missing drive. Outside, Bruce reached the Batmobile parked several blocks away. He removed the hard drive. "What are you hiding, Cobblepot?" Before he could return to the Batcave, the police scanner interrupted him. Static, then an urgent voice. "Open quote, all available units, possible homicide, the Narrows. Officers responding report multiple victims. Scene described as extremely gruesome. Medical examiner requested immediately." Close quote. Bruce's expression hardened. The hard drive could wait. Someone needed him now. He started the Batmobile. The engine roared to life. As the vehicle disappeared into Gotham's streets, the stolen hard drive rested silently inside the Batmobile. Whatever secrets it contained, they would have to wait. Because somewhere in the Narrows, someone had committed a murder unlike anything Gotham's Dark Knight had yet encountered. End of Batman, Gotham's Night number 4, Time Runs Out.